Welcome back to my Swamp Nuclear Power Plant. This is an update video for the 1.0 changes. This power plant has two support plants. One for the uranium ore through plutonium fuel production, which was built in Update 8. The other supports plutonium through Ficsonium power, built in 1.0. This side will look different than it did in the cold start video. I changed a lot of the recipes to handle the announced node and recipe changes in 1.0. With the looming update and incomplete information, I limited what recipes and nodes I used for the rebuild. To reduce the impact on the uranium node downgrade, I used infused uranium cells alt recipe, which uses quickwire and silica to reduce the uranium requirement. You might have also noticed that there is no quartz listed in the raw materials. The quartz nodes north of the swamp were all about to move, so I adjusted the recipes to use the silica byproduct from the aluminum production instead. The rest of the nuclear recipes use the default. Because the plant requires some byproduct balancing, I use balance outputs to increase ramp-up rates. This is not needed if you plan on leaving the power plant running all the time. I enjoy startups, which is why most of my power plant videos are cold starts. The signs you see around were initially for me to confirm recipes quickly after 1.0 dropped, but it might help someone, so I left them in. This is the Silica Factory that makes aluminum as a byproduct. The aluminum turned out to be very useful for the Ficsonium side. If you have questions on the recycling method used here, there is a link in the description. Way over there is the copper processing, and beyond that, the Ficsonium side of the plant. Before I added the Ficsonium side, I shipped out the extra aluminum. This is a 1 to 12 balancer made with compact vertical splitters. All of the radioactive items are delivered with load balancers. I chose to go with the minimum possible belt speeds for most of the radioactive belts for aesthetics. I would not recommend it if you wanted to get to full power quickly. With these belt speeds, the cold start video would be over an hour long. It took me placing these signs here to realize a 1 to 4 balancer would have also worked. Here is another water recycling example using the bottom tap. The waste processing is still sized for the previous version of this power plant. so it is running at 80% efficiency. After you create the plutonium fuel rods, you can sink them, store them, or process them into Ficsonium. Before 1.0, I stored all of the plutonium fuel rods in this world down there at the bottom of the world. Oil, deuterium, bauxite, and the aluminum byproduct from the silica production were pulled from the uranium side. A converter was used to create quartz instead of setting up a miner for 40 raw quartz. 2 sloops were used to effectively double the SAM node. It was less power than adding another overclocked miner. Let's head over to the support plant for the Ficsonium side. Most of this support plant is dedicated to producing 1.2 nuclear pasta. Like the uranium side, I prefer to overproduce materials where I can. Let's head back to the uranium waste processing to Ficsonium. I originally just had one pipe here, and it worked at steady state, but had issues during startup. The way this is set up, the dark matter crystals are considered a waste product from the Ficsonium production, and thus you need to have a starting pile or prime the production. The line where the water collectors end is where the water volume ended in Update 8. Swimming past it, you would fall into the void. Now the water volume goes much further. If you made it this far, I would like to thank you and let you know that I copied this power plant into an empty world, which can be found in my channel links. Thanks for watching.